What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 8
Millionaire Maker. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
and hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay guys, this is for the Millionaire Maker slate, which is the Sunday main slate at 1 p.m. Oh, and stick around to the very end of this video. After I show you all my picks in the Draft Dashboard tools, I'll show you these players in DraftKings and in FanDuel, the Millionaire Maker slates. There'll be 2 spots open that you have to fill in, but you'll have a great Millionaire Maker core.
Okay guys, NFL Week 8. Let's take a look at the quarterback position. My Millionaire Maker quarterback for NFL Week 8 is Derek Carr from the Las Vegas Raiders playing the Cleveland Browns, who have the 7th worst defense overall, and they give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Derek Carr has averaged 21.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 2.5 rush attempts per game. He scored 20, 28, and 24 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He's going to be about 19% owned here, projected at 18.7 fantasy points here in Week 8. I think that projection is a little bit low. I think he can get around 25 fantasy points in this one, and he's $5,500 DraftKings salary and $1,800 more on FanDuel. So I love that DraftKings price. Vegas thinks there's going to be 53.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Raiders trailing by 2.5. So fantastic matchup here, high scoring game, and a passing game script. And you're going to save some salary for the rest of your lineup with this pick. So I like Derek Carr here versus the Cleveland Browns. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. My Millionaire Maker running back for Week 8 is Kareem Hunt from the Cleveland Browns playing the Las Vegas Raiders, who have the 6th worst defense overall, and they give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Kareem Hunt has averaged 16.4 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 14.4 rush attempts per game and 3.1 pass targets per game. He got 18, 13, and 20 rush attempts in the last 3 games, and 4, 3, and 4 pass targets. So he's gotten over 20 touches 2 out of the last 3 games. He's going to be about 28% owned here, projected at 20.2 fantasy points here in Week 8. He's $6,900 DraftKings salary and $1,300 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 53.5 points scored in this game, with the Cleveland Browns favored by 2.5. So fantastic matchup here, a high scoring game, a running game script, and with Odell Beckham Jr. out for the season, Kareem Hunt should get a ton of work in this one. So I like Kareem Hunt here versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL, MLB is still going, NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. My Millionaire Maker wide receiver is A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who have the 9th worst defense overall, and they give up the 14th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. A.J. Brown has averaged 20.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8 pass targets per game. He scored 30, 23, and 21 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 8, 7, and 9 pass targets. He's only going to be about 8% owned, projected at 16 fantasy points here in week 8. He's $6,900 DraftKings salary and $600 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 54 points scored in this game, with the Tennessee Titans favored by 6. I'm surprised that the ownership is a little bit low here, considering the production and the pass targets and a pretty good matchup in a high-scoring game with a quarterback that's been on fire. So I like A.J. Brown here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. So I'm going to stack this game and stack Darren Waller with Derek Carr. So my Millionaire Maker tight end is Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders playing the Cleveland Browns, who have the 7th worst defense overall, and they give up the 13th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Darren Waller has averaged 15.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 9.2 pass targets per game. He scored 17, 16, and 17 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 9, 7, and 12 pass targets. So consistent production, getting a ton of targets. He's going to be about 25% owned, projected at 14.7 fantasy points here in week 8, and he's only $5,600 DraftKings salary and $1,200 more on FanDuel. So we know Vegas thinks there's going to be 53.5 points scored in this game, with the Raiders trailing by 2.5. He's the perfect player to stack with Derek Carr, so I like Darren Waller here versus the Cleveland Browns.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
You've unlocked the bonus content.
Okay guys, here we are in the DraftKings lineup optimizer. Over here on Draft Dashboard, we have our Millionaire Maker core locked in here, and we've generated a lineup. So let's see who we got. We got Derek Carr, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, AJ Green, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen, Darren Waller, James Conner, and the Dolphins defense. What a great lineup. I like this lineup. We have lots of high ownership players here, but we've got a couple mid-range low ownership players like Melvin Gordon at 7%, AJ Brown at 8%, James Conner at 8%, and the Dolphins at 7%. So this would also make a pretty good cash lineup, but I like it in tournaments. I think it's a good Millionaire Maker lineup, so I'm gonna save this lineup so I can optimize it later. Okay guys, here we are in the FanDuel lineup optimizer. We have our Millionaire Maker core locked in here. We've generated a lineup, so let's see who we got. We got Derek Carr, Darrell Henderson Jr., Kareem Hunt, Davante Adams, Jarvis Landry, Henry Ruggs III, Darren Waller, AJ Brown, and the Lions defense. Okay, so we got a low ownership play here in Henry Ruggs, but this guy's a speedster. I think he makes a great stack with Derek Carr and Darren Waller. And then on the other side of the ball, we have Kareem Hunt and Jarvis Landry. So if this Cleveland Browns Las Vegas Raiders game is high scoring, we should be in pretty good position with this lineup. So I'm going to save this lineup so I can optimize it later.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.